Diego, how'd you feel out there, man? Eagle FC debut, also fighting for the first time at 165 pounds. Overall, are you happy with your performance? How'd you feel out there?
You know, I'm happy just to be out there. You know, it was, of course, being a competitor, you always want to win and you always want to go out there and finish the fight. You know, and me and Kevin, we went out there and we warred. He told me first kick busted his ACL. And he knows he's busted his ACLs twice. So I went out there and I fought my best. I landed punches, I landed body kicks, I landed leg kicks, I landed strikes to the head. In the end, Kevin got me with some good wrestling, and he's a tremendous wrestler, and he got the top position, and he was able to establish it. He was able to hold me down, and my hat's off to him. He's a great fighter. He's 29 years old. He's in his prime, and I went out there and I gave the most entertaining performance I could for Eagle FC, for my fans all around the world. In America, in Mexico, in Canada, in Russia, in Brazil. I got just so many people out there who have followed my journey through the UFC and now into the Eagle FC. And, I do it for my fans. I do it for my family. I got my daughter at home who's 8 years old who's watching my fight. I feel like being away from the sport for so long, not being in the cage for so long, not fighting for so long, just a lot of different emotions came up throughout fight week, throughout the weight cut. And it wasn't a normal weight cut for me either, because I had seriously almost died in November, December, had the double pneumonia, the blood clots in the legs, and I barely was released from the hospital, late December. So it wasn't easy to get back in shape. It was a lot more difficult this time around, but I put the hard work in, and I just said, you know what, I'm gonna do this. I got the call from Ali, I got the call from Eagle FC, and they had this opportunity for me. And when I saw the first press conference when Kevin Lee signed with Eagle FC, I saw the attention that he was getting, and I saw the eyes were on him and people were watching. And I knew that this opportunity wasn't gonna come again. It just was either you man up and you deal with the circumstances and you go and you give it your best, and there's a chance you might get it. And I almost did. I almost hurt his leg really bad. I did hurt his leg really bad. And I hurt him to the body several times. And there was opportunities in there for me to take the fight, but he had an iron will too, and he wasn't gonna lay down. And like I said, he got me with the takedowns. He was strong, and he was physically powerful, and he was also flexible. And like I said, man, Kevin Lee's a great fighter, and I'm a great fighter too. And I got to go out there and show my fans and my people of Albuquerque, New Mexico, and all around the world that I am a warrior. I am a warrior of the light. I am a warrior of God. And the only reason I can step in the cage and fight the way I do still at 40 years old is because I got help. And I got my Lord and Savior upstairs who's helping me, who's protecting me, who's giving me courage, giving me strength, and to keep my emotions in control. Because the sport of combat is an emotional sport. And if you cannot control your emotions, if you cannot be aware of your emotions, you're going to fall apart, and your emotions are going to beat you, and it ain't even going to be your opponent that beats you. So you have to be headstrong to be a fighter. You have to be a champion in your mindset. And that's what I was tonight.
Do you feel like you won some of the, it was 30-27. He took top control, but did you feel like you had a better of the striking exchange when it was striking before? Did you feel like you scored in this fight?
Oh, I definitely felt that I scored multiple times in this fight. Some people told me that they thought I won the second round, that it should have been 28-29. But like I said, man, this isn't the best Diego Sanchez ever, man. I sucked it up and got it done. I got in the best shape I could in 5 weeks, coming out of retirement, coming out of the hospital. And when I come back for my second Eagle FC fight, because I have 2 more fights on my contract, you're going to see the real Diego Sanchez. You're going to see me in my top physical prime condition. And I'm going to do everything to get there. And I'm going to come and I'm going to be victorious.
So you want to do MMA again and not do BKFC and bare knuckles? MMA that you want to do?
Well, I'm under contract with Eagle FC now. I signed a 3-fight contract, so I have 2 more fights with Eagle FC. And for now, it's going to be mixed martial arts. And as I've shown, I can kick again. People didn't know I can kick.
You went to the body to the body several times, kicked before the fight. You had talked about going to the body. Is there something that you noticed during camp? Was that the game plan?
It's nothing that you notice in camp. It's just every man has a body, and you hit a man in the body. It don't matter how tough you are, how strong you are, or how great of an athlete you are. Even me, like I got a really strong head. I'm in great condition. But you get me right here in that little liver spot, man, and man, it makes a woman out of all men.
And Diego, you know how like negative the internet can be and whatnot, but I think anyone that knows MMA, you put on a really good showing, very competitive fight against someone that's young and in their prime, as you said, in Kevin Lee. Do you feel like people have sort of been a bit unfair with you as far as criticism and stuff like that? Because like I said, I thought you made a very good fight and it was very competitive and you showed very good skills in it.
Well, truth of it is, for the last 2 years, I wasn't really myself, and I was letting someone else lead my life, and so I took control of the steering wheel, and I did it the Diego Sanchez way. And I did this training camp myself. I didn't have a team. I didn't run back to Jackson's like I didn't run back, and I did it myself. I had some friends. I had Kevin Crane, my jiu-jitsu training partner, one training partner. I had Jose, my other jiu-jitsu training partner. I had 2 training partners. I had 2 jiu-jitsu training, and I had 1 mitt man. And so that was my team. I didn't do no sparring rounds really. Maybe like 3 or 4 rounds of sparring this training camp. I put the work in and I did what I could do. And I went and I showed the world that what, all things are possible when you have God helping you.
Yeah. And you're a veteran of the sport. You've experienced almost everything. But 165, this is something new that's coming up. Did you like the 165 weight class?
Oh,
do you
man.
wish this would have been implemented years back?
I begged for it, and I begged for it for years. Even before Kevin started talking about the 165-pound division, I was asking Lorenzo and Frank Fertitta because my frame was never a welterweight, and all my fights in UFC were against giants. Of course I did fight 185, 170, 155, and 145. So, yeah, of course when I fought the big guys, they were giants to me. But 165 is my weight class, and I'm not done here. And I still see that Golden Eagle FC championship belt. I know what I'm capable of, and I want to get back in there with Kevin Lee. Mm-hmm. That's a fight I want. I want that fight. I want to fight him in my top prime condition. I feel like I've seen what he has to bring to the table. He couldn't get me out of there. He threw everything he had at me. And I found some chinks in his armor. So I want to get back in there with Kevin Lee.
Do you feel you had him hurt at any time?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. The first kick of the fight blew out his ACL. So, yeah, he was hurt the whole fight.
But, I mean, did you rock him? I think some people saw that you rocked him.
Well, yeah, no, he was showing like, to me it looked like, what I felt when someone hits me and I feel a little something. I was seeing that little look on his face, and when you're a fighter, And so he hit me with some good shots. I never felt like I was dazed. He hit me with one in the eye that made my eye blur up. But I know that I definitely hurt him when I threw the left kick to the body, and he went. and then he was keeping his hand real low. So yeah, no, he was definitely hurt.
You say you have two jiu-jitsu training partners, but your striking was the best weapon in this fight. How do you train striking for this fight without a master, a professor?
Well, you know, it's been 20 years of training with everybody. You know, then eventually you become your own master. And so, no, I do got a good training coach though. I do have Frank Lester, and he's been on the mitts, but we only really got to work for 3.5 weeks together. It was 3 weeks on the mitts with Frank, and we're gonna put some work in after this fight, and we're gonna develop the style of my style and his style together. We're gonna make something special. We're gonna get back out there, and we're gonna be victorious.
And Diego, 20 years of fighting, you've been around the sport for a very long time. Have you started thinking about retirement? Is that
Obviously, of course. I'm 40 years old, and you know, it gets harder and harder every year. So yeah, I know that you know, this might be my last 2 fights here in Eagle. I might retire from mixed martial arts here in Eagle FC, but you know, you got to take it fight for fight, and I took this fight for fight with a 29-year-old phenom, and he couldn't get me out of there. He couldn't hurt me. And look at me, I'm good. I don't got to go to the hospital. I didn't get knocked out. I didn't get head kicked and dropped. You know, so I got taken down. I got controlled a little bit, but all in all, we were pretty equal in the striking damage, in the hits that he was giving me and I was giving him.
I have one last question here.
It seems like